Okay, I'm going to call the Board of Selectmen, Essex, Town of Essex Board of Selectmen meeting for March 9th, 2026.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did I look like a teacher there? As a reminder, this meeting is being recorded and broadcasted by 1623. And to start the meeting, I'd like to have a moment of silence. We have recently had two passings. One of our Board of Health clerk, Jeff Thomas, who passed away last Sunday, March 1st. And then yesterday, Pete Silver, our former police chief, who passed away, and they'll both be sorely missed. Okay, thank you. So the time is now, I have 6:02. What does your clock show?
Yep.
Okay. Can we start with the police chief, Tom Shamshak?
Sure, yeah.
Good evening, how are you?
Good evening.
So one of the marinas reached out to me this May. At least 3, maybe 4 marinas in the area are going to be hiring a company to basically drive new piles at the respective marinas, and this would be advantageous for the town to take advantage. Generally, it's going to cost about $12,000 to have the barge just come into the river, and that's before any work, if any one entity or marina needed that service. The idea was proposed as cost sharing, so an example is if 4 or 5 of us share that $12,000 cost, it would only cost $2,400 as our share for the barge to come up the river. The price per pile, or piling to be driven, is $800 for the pile and then $1,500 to drive it. So for example, 2 piles installed at the town landing would cost the town $7,000. If we reached out to this vendor on our own, the price without sharing is $16,000. So there's a significant cost savings if we wanted to explore this. These numbers are not final. They are subject to change based on however many marinas participate in this cost sharing. So we could revisit this when we have more numbers, but I just wanted to put this on the radar.
And what's the time frame you're looking at?
The one marina had work scheduled to begin in May. So it would likely be in May.
So if we looked at free cash on May 4th, at a town meeting article, that would work, correct?
That should suffice, yes.
Would you recommend that we just put it in as a one-time cost of the harbor master's maintenance budget?
We would need some type of a line item transfer. We exhausted that, it was $500.
Right, but if we have a town meeting, you don't need to do a transfer. We can
Correct.
fund it.
We could,
Fund it
yes.
directly and potentially out of waterways.
Correct.
Depending on what we have in there. So, to the board, is that something that you're interested in seeing? We can actually put it into the budget. We don't have to have it as a separate article unless you want to see it as a separate article.
I'm fine with it being in the budget. My only question is, will this delay the being able to use the landing?
No, we couldn't. So the reason we're exploring this is the gangway frequently falls off of the dock or shifts to the side when there's a king tide. It's because there's only one pile down there. If we add at least another 1 or 2, it would be a much more solid thing, and these would last probably 30 or 40 years installed. So it's really a great time to do it if they are going to have the barge in the river. But no, it wouldn't delay opening the landing. We are waiting on the new gangways and new floats to be voted at town meeting as well. The gangway is all set. We are waiting on the floats to be voted at town meeting, but this would just be a kind of a complete project once we do all of this.
And the ramp is usable without, the dock stuff in there as well. It's for the diehards. Are we looking at just 2 pilings or possibly more?
We could add more. We could explore adding some to the right, to the other side, to have like a little kayak tie-up, or we could do just what's there to strengthen it up. But that's something that we could discuss in time. How far do we want to improve the landing down there?
Go ahead, Annie.
2, net new 2, right?
2 new, yes, for the existing
Yep.
docks that we have.
And then there's one that lives there now.
Correct.
How old is that, do you know? And is there a possibility of replacing that, or is it just leave it be, or?
That one is perfectly fine now, and if you added another two, if that one did fail, you'd still have plenty of support down there.
Okay. And is this all written up somewhere so that,
We can, yes, once I reached out to the company that was soliciting the business with one of the marinas, I can get, more firm numbers as time goes on to present this.
All right, so I'll move forward and get that into the budget, which is rapidly coming together. While the chief is still here, do you want to discuss Article 16 of the town meeting warrant? That's the article that talks about the institution of a river use fee. In the version of the warrant that you had distributed for this meeting, I put the town council reviewed and approved version of this article. It was written as if folks who have a boat in the backyard and trailer it to some kind of landing in Essex to launch it would not have to pay the fee. But in speaking with the chief, he's looking to capture that fee from every boater. I guess you're talking about everyone with a boat that's registered in the town of Essex.
Correct. Anybody that wants to launch from the town landing, this is a way to ensure that everybody is, cost sharing the maintenance of maintaining the landing, the floats, the river, the buoy, the channel markers. All of this infrastructure adds up, and it makes more sense. Many municipalities have some type of a waterway fee or sticker or slip and rack. So this would be assessed to basically everybody in the river. So it's fair. If you have a vessel in Essex waters, you're going to pay a use fee.
And if that's the case, the wording you've got here is either privately trailered and launched at the town landing. There are multiple places where you could launch a boat in the town of Essex. And if we say at the town landing proper, and somebody says, I launched over here, it could be a loophole. So can you think of another way to describe that?
To be just the town. So I know what you're saying, like Clammers or Front Beach, sometimes the shellfish.
Island Road, you name it.
Right.
There's 7 landings, I think.
Right. Those generally aren't big enough to accommodate any boat bigger than a little clam skiff or a kayak.
Right, I'm just trying to avoid a loophole from
Right.
the beginning.
And are they going to be exempt? Are those small lunds and
12-foot minimum, it says here.
okay.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah.
But, okay, so how would we describe it then? So privately trailered and launched at,
Any Essex waterway? I mean,
launched into, how about launched into any tidal Essex waterway?
Okay.
What about a boat coming from Ipswich or Gloucester?
So that was my thought with the out-of-town shellfish guys that sometimes go out to the point and then they park in the non-resident parking area.
Yeah.
It might be difficult to capture that because if they're clamming on a Gloucester shellfish license or another Ipswich or Newbury,
So you would say any vessel registered in the town of Essex, right?
well, it doesn't
well, there's
have
an
to be.
issue. I mean, a lot of people register out of state as well, New Hampshire and whatnot.
All the people on the slips?
Okay, well, but the people on the slips are a different category in this.
Okay.
We're talking about the person who has a boat in the backyard, okay? If we say everyone who enters an Essex waterway, that could be somebody that is not an Essex resident. You're never going to get their annual fee. I mean, I don't understand how you'd do that.
Well, you would have to register on DACWA. If you live in town and you plan to use the river, you have to apply for the river use fee.
Right, if you live in town.
Correct.
So we need to say, so in other words, it would be it would be any vessel owned by an Essex resident?
Well, or non-resident, because we have the non-resident launch. They're captured in Section 2 under the exemption. Everybody's going to get the same color and shape sticker, same year.
I get that, but right now, we still don't have language.
How about anybody using any of the waterways in Essex?
So somebody comes
Yeah.
from Gloucester for
Yeah.
the day.
Yeah.
How are you going to collect that? How are you even going to know?
You're not gonna collect that, probably.
But that's why
Well-
I'm wondering if is it accessing the Essex River from one of our launching areas? I mean,
It'll be easiest to enforce at the town landing, because that's where you're gonna get the people that are actually launching their boats.
Well, why don't you just say then, at any town landing?
We could add that.
And that, I think, is the simplest way to do this.
Annie?
I apologize for the stupidity of my questions. So I have a boat in my backyard, and I don't want to do anything with it. So I don't have to register it, anything, right?
Correct. If you're not gonna launch it in the waters, you don't have to pay the waterway fee.
Okay. And the policing of this is just like driving by somebody and making sure they have their decal in the window, just like we do for the dump?
Correct. Whether or not you're a mooring holder, a slip holder, non-resident launch, you're all gonna have the same color sticker, same back right location on the boat.
And then, so speaking of the folks who are coming in from another town or might be on the river from another town, are you going to stop them if they don't have the sticker? I mean, how do you know who to stop and who not to stop? Because you don't want to harass folks, because you want people to come to
Right.
to the town and use the town, so.
This would all be done by the launching, and that's where it's
Right.
much easier to capture down at the.
If this
the
says at any town landing, and there's another boat that came from somewhere else, they would be exempt. Because they don't fall into any of these categories.
Correct.
Right, but if you're driving by me from Gloucester,
You're not going to have to pay a fee.
you don't have a tattoo on your head that says Gloucester.
Right, so you don't know if
Yes.
they're from Essex.
Well, my hairline and all, but how's that going to help, though? So I guess it comes down to stopping a boat and saying, you don't have a sticker, where did you launch? If they say it was from one of the town landings, they're going to be a resident, because we don't,
They can't park.
well, Canomo Point, you can launch and be a non-resident.
And that's why my initial thoughts of
So,
leaving that alone.
If we say any town landing, you have to ask the question. If they lie and they say that it came in from Gloucester, I guess you say, have a nice day, right?
Correct.
Because this has to be enforceable, workable.
And the other thing is that you would think, since you were looking at a 12-foot, if they're going to launch, they're going to have a trailer sitting somewhere at one of our
Right, yeah,
landings.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so
Still a lot of work. I mean, work that we weren't doing before.
my proposal then is just to put in, it says, instead of at the town landing, it would be any town landing, and then the chief's other edits will stand. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions for the chief?
The only thing I'd ask is that when you get that rewritten, if you could just send him a copy, just so he has,
Yeah, he's just going to change one word, literally one word from what he sent me.
At any town landing.
Yeah,
Yeah, instead of the.
And then if you launch a 11-foot skiff, you wouldn't have to pay the fee anyway.
And that's easy because you can tell it's an 11-foot skiff.
All right, sounds good.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody have any public comment to that appointment? If not, Tom, thank you, and have a good night. Okay, so do we want to move into Brendan's report? Town administrator's report.
Thank you. So in my report, the first item has to do with the joint meeting of the Selectmen, the Finance Committee, and the Board of Public Works, which was held back on February 24th. In that meeting, all parties agreed to a specific list of follow-up and action items. I've provided those items in my report. You've seen them. Do you have any comment, question? Because if you don't, then these are the things we're going to work on.
It's a lot. It's still a lot, no matter how you look
And
at it.
those are just the action items. That's not the list of items.
Right.
So I just still think there's a lot, and there's a lot to iron out as far as to what depth things are going to get done.
But for now, I should continue to ferret these along.
I believe
Yeah,
so.
let's see how things work out.
And I will ask Annie, did you have any comments on those?
Yeah, I thought they were great notes, and I don't know, have they seen these notes as well?
Yes, they were all sent out at the same time. I did not get any comments from the Board of Public Works or the Finance Committee on the minutes,
Okay.
which in this list comes right out of the minutes.
Yeah, it's a great list. I guess my question was, the secondary treatment facility, public input. I spoke to you about that.
Yes.
About format and not doing that unless we kind of had a plan.
Right.
About how you're gonna,
Right, and one option would be for me to kind of pull it together and work through, because I understand all the options,
yeah.
what they entail and the details of it.
Yeah, and I did have additional information on that. Question about that also is regarding not only, like, I want to make sure that it is, if we're going to do it at the DPW meeting at 6 o'clock at night, not everybody's going to attend, one. Two, if something is written up that can be handed out over at the senior center or over at the school or something, because I do believe this is literally going to touch every single person in town, and everybody should have their viewpoint.
Right, so good advertising,
Yeah,
and it would be done so that it could also be remote, would get 1623.
correct.
Yeah, but the structure of it in a way that is not,
But I think that if we have something written up that says,
Oh,
here
yeah,
are the
yeah.
3 options, nobody, this should not be presented. Experts can give their opinion, it's still just their opinion.
yeah. I mean, what I talked to Brendan about is, you know how the planning board says, can we have comments and questions? Like, give me your questions first, let's address those, and then we'll go to comments. I thought that's a good structure for this, because
I told everybody, turn your comment into a question, it's the easiest way to do it.
anyway, I just.
All right, so what I'll do for the next meeting, it seems everyone's in agreement that this meeting needs to be put together. I'll come up with a framework, and you can all discuss it at your next meeting.
Yeah, and I'd like to have that type of stuff available before the meeting, so that, like you said, if somebody does have questions or comments, they can put it in writing if they're not going to make it here, or if they're still not home from wherever they go in the wintertime.
Yep.
The next item has to do with the town pound repair of one of these stone walls. The town pound is I guess I'd say a square structure consisting of 4 stone walls where they used to put stray animals. The issue with it is, although the town owns that parcel, it's landlocked, and we do not have direct rights to access it. So.
Not even from the roadside, it looked like that was town
It's
property.
a driveway,
No, in front of the,
No, it's landlocked.
yeah.
And so Annie and I have been trying to meet with the property owner, but then we had a blizzard and then other things came up, and we haven't been able to do that. I just wanted to make sure that you understood we're still trying to work toward it. And if the abutter is not interested in giving permission, then we'll have to look at another option. We do have an option to do it, it's just a more difficult way, all
So
right?
I did go do some research. First of all, like, I think Ruth had brought up the fact that there's multiple in the state, and there are.
Multiple what?
town pounds are all over
Town
the
pounds.
place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because this was something that they did all the time. So basically what I found about our Essex one, that it's a 1723 dry laid stone structure. I'm not a stone person, but I know that that's impressive, to be able to have something last that long that doesn't have concrete holding it together. It was to secure roaming livestock. They usually were located along a main road, and it serves as a tangible link to the 18th century. All those things, we are a town that has a lot of history. So, yeah, I think we should keep going. And get it presentable, then at the same time, I think about the other side, but nobody can get to it. You can stand on Main Street and go, oh yeah, I see it.
But you can watch from 133, you can get to it.
You walk on somebody's
It would be
private
private
driveway.
property.
Yeah. So the
You
town
can see
property
it.
is really just the outline of
Yeah,
the,
the yellow box you see there.
yeah.
We didn't have that 2 feet thing before.
I'm gonna go put some dogs in there.
So Annie and I will make another attempt,
Get out though.
and then hopefully we'll be able to
Jump right
just
over.
have it done voluntarily.
Right.
Maybe use a bucket truck and do it from the highway.
I know. Okay, public safety building siding options. We did reach out to our building envelope consultant after your last meeting.
Yeah.
And I asked, okay, beyond the panelized vinyl that looks like cedar shingles, what about things like hardy board or?
Hardy board. I don't even
It's
know
a,
what it
it's
is.
a cement composite board.
Okay, as opposed to
It
plastic.
doesn't rot, but it's not plastic.
And it's actually like,
break?
almost like cedar, except it's made of concrete.
So if something hits it like plastic, it'll break or no?
It doesn't break as easily as the vinyl. The vinyl's not supposed to break, I know they say that.
So there's hardy board, there's the panelized vinyl, and then there's stuff like AZAC individual composite shingles, but that's very expensive. And so or as we discussed at the last meeting, removing all of the wood and putting new wood in that's properly coated from the beginning.
So if we put the vinyl, are we not removing all of the wood, we're just going over it?
No, you'll be removing it no matter what.
Wanted to make
But
sure.
it's a relatively minor part of the cost. You're going to be doing that for any of the options you select, except for the repaint every 3 to 5 years, but I don't think you're going with that.
No, I don't.
So
Yeah, but that's okay.
the way to find out what these things cost in the marketplace is to go out to bid. Under mass bid law, if you list something as the preferred option and then you have alternates after it, you have to reject the preferred option and get to alternate one. If you don't want that, you have to go through that to get to alternate two. You can't just say,
One of these come
it
in
has
with
to
the
go
price,
in a
right?
certain hierarchy, okay? In this case, it works out all right, because sometimes you're saying, how will this fit into a larger project as a component? But in this case, it is the project. So going down the line won't be that difficult.
Right.
It is when you're trying to figure out what the total bid is.
Right.
In this case, each alternate will represent its own bid price.
So is it only about price, or is it price plus
Look, both.
something? I mean, do you know what I mean? Can you reject something if you all decide, yeah, no, we don't like that?
If you don't like the price, you can go down the line to other options.
So the price
Any
is
reason.
the factor.
As far
Gi-
as for
given
us
that-
to decide, though,
If you don't like it or the maintenance
do you
is
go
gonna
with
be
the
an
one we
issue.
don't have a price for? And then decide, okay, now that's 200,000 additional, we don't want that, now we go to the next one, which could delay it, correct?
Right. The recommendation from the building envelope consultant was the panelized vinyl. And I sent you a link on that. I think you were able, I don't know if you saw it.
I did,
And it
yeah.
showed you the different,
Yeah.
Did you see that?
from a distance, it's hard to tell the difference, but it's really up to the board as to what you want to lead, or you could just go out to bid with the panelized vinyl and call it a day.
Okay, can we just kind of talk about, like, assumptions that I had about vinyl? My assumption was that it's, you knock on it, it sounds hollow, and that it's.
And that will be the case with panelized product, yes.
Okay, and then there's another thing that you showed me downstairs, which was called,
AZEC. So those are individual shingles
yep,
that,
Fake shingles.
yeah, so instead of a solid wood shingle, it's a solid plastic or composite shingle. It's hard to tell which one's going to be priced out more. The labor for the AZEC might even be more because of the way you have to fasten it, but
yeah. I
you'd
mean,
have to cost that out.
Would you drill it?
I don't know, but
Yeah, or maybe it comes with holes.
they must have some kind of
you glue it.
Glue it.
Okay.
Use the paint.
That was a
that'll
joke.
hold it together.
tape. You tape it up.
Velcro.
And so my argument has always been, the group, the building committee who sat down and decided to put the shingles up, did it for, to stay within character.
Yeah.
As you said, it's not something that you can see right away. So do we want to go with just the vinyl, or do we want to look at getting bids for the other items?
How does the vinyl weather?
Yeah, I think that's the
So,
other.
so the thing about vinyl, even though they say it's a 100-year guarantee, it never is. It does stain on the dark side of the property. I don't know how much of it is on the dark side. It only warps, like last summer where we had multiple over 100-degree days. It's vinyl.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the product you might have on your house is not the product that we're talking about here. It's different and it's modern.
Is it a
so-
more commercial
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm interested in a 30-year solution.
and that will be at least a 30-year solution.
If we don't go with that, I'd go with the wood shingles and just make it look natural.
Right.
You mean wood shingles would make it look natural? What does that mean?
Clear coat it.
Yeah, just clear coat it and let them,
Turn gray.
yeah, over time, turn gray, but they're wooden, and you can tell they're wooden.
And there'll be differential weathering on that because of the sun is here and this is a shade and, yeah.
Not getting water on it.
Right, yeah.
But what's the maintenance on that? So,
Really nothing.
is it
For
really?
30 years?
If you don't want to maintain a consistent facade, the look of the facade, it'll stand up for a long time. I don't know if we're talking about 30. You might have to recoat it. With the vinyl, it's at least 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would, if they gave us some bids on that, it would be great if they gave us some,
They said you have to test the market, which means we have to develop a bid spec and go out to bid.
I'm just saying, I would love to know other buildings that are using it so we could go look at it.
Okay, well, I can do whatever.
Yeah.
So you don't want to move forward with a bid yet? I don't want to let the
Oh, no,
season
no,
go
I
by.
want to go forward the bid,
Well, then I need to know what product the board
the
prefers.
vinyl.
We'll go with vinyl.
Number one, vinyl.
The
Number two, what?
Well, the vinyl, once he gets the bid for the vinyl, it will be done. He'll start a project and decide when it's going to be installed.
Do you want to not look at other options?
I don't, but that's really up to I really don't. Because I know that that's the product that's going to stand the test of time for the town and not have. But if the
Okay.
board wants to, that's your
So
prerogative.
what about the hardy board, which was the concrete
Yeah.
shingle?
And they do make that in a cedar shake looking style as well.
Okay.
We could do that as an alternate.
bid it out, see?
Yeah.
So basically, that would be the first alternate, get a bid on it, then we decide we don't want that, we'll go with the vinyl. Is
No,
that-
no. This is all gonna, this is a large undertaking, takes advertisements and money to get get a price. And so you need to tell me what your
So if
preferred
we
thing
just-
is.
If we just choose one, we don't need to bid, we just,
That's right.
so we don't, it doesn't cost
Well, you
us
still have to
any-
go to bid.
Yeah, you still have to go to bid.
For the
you-
company, but that's it, right?
Yeah, you're still gonna go to bid, but you don't have to have an alternate in there that could, muddy the waters.
Right.
Do you feel like a hardy board is muddying the waters?
I don't think it's necessary. But if it's a look thing to you, then you would have to look at hardy board and look at vinyl
Yeah, I have
and
no
make a
idea what it
decision.
looks like.
Pardon?
I have no idea what the hardy
I don't
board
either.
looks. So that's why I just go with the vinyl.
Okay, then why don't we just agree? I don't think, the three of us are going to be able,
Yeah,
would I
we're
go with
sort
it
of
with my
gilding the
house? No,
lily
but
here.
would I go with it there and it's a 30-year? Sure.
Why don't we ask the police and fire what they want?
No,
And what color?
And do we have some hardy board on the building envelope at this point?
I'm pretty sure it's the red on the back. On the back, because the red up front is like batten board stuff.
Right. Okay, I'm fine with going with vinyl. We'll probably get poo-pooed at driving down the street from people who want the natural wood look.
Okay, so I will go ahead and I will work with the consultant to finalize the spec and get it out to bid.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, now moving toward the annual town meeting warrant. What I've provided to you is a draft warrant, an update to the list of topics, but we don't, that just shows you how all the other things settled that are not on the warrant. And I've provided the first draft of the monetary summary. This is going to keep changing, but it's starting to give you an idea of what it looks like and what all the sources are for funding these things. If we go into the actual draft warrant.
Can I just ask
Yep.
you regarding the Essex North Shore, is that an actual number, or are we still waiting from them?
So on this sheet, if it doesn't have a little star next to it,
Oh, I'm sorry.
then it's final.
It's final? Okay,
Yep.
great.
Is that in the repository, the document repository, those numbers? Or that was an email, right?
Yeah, we have those in, they're actually going to be both that and the Manchester Essex budget, those actually become part of the town meeting booklet, but if you'd like to see them now, I do have them. That shows how they arrived at all this. I mean, not right now, I don't have them to give you right now.
Yeah, oh,
But I have
this.
the documents.
You have this.
Oh, yeah, that should be in your drive.
Yeah, it was in.
Look for monetary summary, Excel spreadsheet.
So what were you saying about the asterisks?
The
There's an
stars.
asterisk at the end of it. It's not finalized
Oh,
yet.
okay, gotcha.
Because there's still a lot of things that have to settle.
All right, yeah.
Is the Manchester Essex number including what they decided last Tuesday?
Yes,
Okay. So that's 187, you said?
yes, that's what the override will translate to. Now, if I can just find my copy of the warrant.
I probably stole it.
Did it stick together with this? No. This.
So I had a question for Brendan about two separate articles, if there's an override for town
Yeah,
budget and this separate budget, or a separate line to article for town override.
right, so the way it's it's set up that way because the last time there was an override for both the school and the town, it was separated out. The issue with putting them together is that if one part of it fails,
Yeah,
you have a failure of both budgets.
Yeah. I guess, there is a line of thinking, and I'm not alone in this, that it's all town. The school is part of the town budget.
But if you look at, I just recently was investigating Westwood, which had the fire station issue. I don't know if you saw it last week in the news. So you can go on the DOR and see all the overrides. Every override that was a general override for the town, it failed. And every override that was for the school passed. So if those were combined, would it have passed? It may not have, or it may have.
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm of a mind to put them together, but I think I'm a minority on that.
I am not in that mind, but
Okay.
Okay, so with respect to the warrant, first of all, I want to let you know that Greg Corbo has a conflict that night. Jeff Blake, who has filled in for him in the past, will be town council at the town meeting this year.
Who's the gentleman that gave the Riley? Was it Riley?
That was Brian Riley, who talked about the ethics, yes.
Good remembering.
Yes?
Okay.
Last week?
Yeah.
Yep. Before we go into the warrant, I had a request from a resident asking whether the town would consider selling the structure and the land underneath it at 31 Apple Street. Now, of course, even if one individual is interested in that, first of all, the selectmen would have to put it forth. Second of all, the town meeting would have to vote on it. And then third, it would have to go out to bid. Somebody who wants something from the town has to compete for that with everyone else who might want the same thing.
so my comments on that is that although it seems like, oh, a no-brainer, why not? I feel that we don't know what we're going to do with that parcel. We don't know whether or not somebody's going to come in and do affordable housing or senior housing and say, having an access here and an exit here would be the better solution.
Well, it does, and that's the thing, it fronts on the street. So that's part of your frontage right there.
Right.
And if you say, well, we're cutting out this much of it, you might,
That's what
You
my
might have a
concern is. So
problem.
I would say, for me, at this point, I don't want it on our annual. And if something changes between now and September and we want to put it on the fall, then we discuss it in the fall.
And it is pretty close to where we potentially want to put the road to the transfer station too.
We don't know where they were thinking about putting that road. We would assume where the gate is
Hopefully.
that got driven
Yeah,
over.
somewhere around there.
all right, so unless I am hearing differently, I'm going to let this person know that at this point, the board is not inclined to put that in as a proposal for the town meeting.
And I just wonder if he's using it anyways, do we let him use it until pay to use it until?
Would it be a lease agreement then, like you would have to do?
No, a
the
lease agreement requires town meeting.
We could tear it down.
You can do it, yes, you could. You could do a license, but a license is non-exclusive, which means,
I could go park there.
Right, so that's not really a good option. Town meeting is required if you're gonna do it like a durable lease.
Yeah,
If somebody is parking there and they shouldn't be, then that's a matter for the chief of police to enforce, and that's up to the selectmen to determine how you wanna deal with that.
Yeah, that's why I was just saying if they did a donation in kind and we let them use it for,
So we don't.
I get what he's saying. It used to be one piece of property, and that parking spot.
I don't think you could do a donation,
Okay, that's fine.
because
That's good to
that
know.
sidesteps the ability for someone else to give you a donation, to use that particular thing. Okay?
So then we should put up the ugly tape that says no parking.
You could, you tell me what you wanna do.
I think we should keep the property intact for now, and we should hold on doing anything because we don't know what we're doing with the road.
Do we need that building for anything?
Not that we currently know about.
I mean, it's not like it's very solid anyway.
No, it's not. It's something the
If we're gonna
DPW
use
can
it for
take down.
something, we would have to redo it.
You know what I think, again, it goes back to what's the use gonna be? It could be a mailbox holder type of thing where people get to,
Oh, right.
if it was if it ended up being, housing. So there's a part of me that says take it down and
Yeah,
then it's just somebody parking on the side of the road and do you?
Yeah.
that's a little more obvious, yeah.
Oh, can I see?
Was that something you want to take up at another meeting, or do you,
I would say let's take it up at another meeting. Let's just, for right now,
Can we do it after the town meeting, like, not,
in late May?
yeah, like,
okay.
I don't think it's critical for our purpose, it's not a priority for us.
No, but what the issue is the police. So are they gonna go there every day and give tickets?
No.
No, they can notify the person who's parking there that they shouldn't be parking there.
Oh, they've already done that.
Yeah, so is this it?
Anyways,
Yeah, somewhere in
so
here.
the other thing, before we go on to the federal earmark, can I just ask you, you had sent a message about ClearGov and doing the best practice, a workaround?
Oh, for, what is it exactly about?
You had sent us something about ClearGov and that you're gonna do a workaround for things?
To arrive at certain things.
arrive at certain things.
Because we've reported to them all the things that we want it to be able to do that it can't do. I have a workaround for every single one of them this year. We're hoping that by the time we create the '28 budget, not only are we going to pull in some additional features that thing offers,
Okay.
we're going to have the features that we wanted available to us.
So my concern with that, having been in software for a long time, is that workarounds are the things that break when an upgrade happens and that type of thing. So making sure whatever workarounds are done are documented and in a place where somebody who's, wants to test it knows, okay, I got to make sure this is still going to work when we get this upgrade.
Yeah.
You're talking about ClearGov,
ClearGov.
yeah.
And what we're doing with that is we're actually writing that in the notes for the, whatever it is, the calculated field or whatever, writing that in, so you can tell what we had to do.
Okay.
I just don't want to pay for any new feature, you know what I mean, like,
So, and it's just a normal upgrade. They could do a normal upgrade, but they don't know about all these workarounds we have, and then all of a sudden, so our people who are working it will
yeah.
have to make sure that their pages are working the way.
Their pages already don't work. We are doing something to make it work.
Yeah.
And by the time we get to the next fiscal year,
yeah.
they liked everything we said. They think it's going to be useful to every user, and I expect that they're going to do them for us. Okay, so with respect to the warrant itself, did the board, we've been over it several times, did the board have any particular questions about any of the draft articles?
The only thing that I would love to have a little bit more certainty on is the DPW articles that are still need to have some workarounds. I would love to have information on that between the two meetings in time to.
So you're
know.
looking at information on costs, maybe?
Well, it
Or
says
on,
what the
The
stuff
the
is.
camera,
That's-
there's still some open stuff about the camera.
Yep, because they're still, so I got the camera stuff itself, but they're still working on getting a quote on setting 2 poles and any other incidentals. I think Apple Street, they're also looking up what they need to be able to build that road. So
But
I don't
if
have
this-
that.
If these things are not available by town meeting, these would be indefinitely postponed or brought up, is
Right.
that correct?
Yes.
Brought up in the,
And they don't have to be available by the time you sign the warrant, but certainly they have to be available by the time you read the motion.
Correct.
Because you need to know what
you
the
need-
number
you
is
need
and
the
what's in
number.
it.
Right.
I
Yeah.
guess I'm also thinking about that sewer, the water and the sewer enterprise funds and kind of like where they stand as these things tick off. So,
Yep, so what I can do is, get an update from them
Yeah.
on all the things that, the pieces they're working on. In addition, I can show you, here's what's in the fund now.
Yeah.
And if all of these things get approved, this is what will be left in the fund.
So if the, what about the trash bags and stuff, nothing comes back on that, then everything just stays the same, it's not.
That's right.
Yeah.
It has to be changed by town meeting if it's
so it's
going to
just
be
a-
changed.
It'll be indefinitely postponed then.
It will, I won't even put it on there. They're gonna tell me before you even sign the warrant whether they want it
Okay.
on there.
okay, so you
So
are
that's
going to
soon.
get.
That's in
yeah,
the next 2
okay.
weeks.
Yeah, and the zoning, does
Yeah, I'm
Lisa
concerned
feel
about
like-
the zoning not having any,
So now, here's what the chair has said. We need to do,
I thought it was 2
I don't think you're
articles.
gonna see either the principal structures on a lot or the non-conforming use clarification. We already know that the original 2 ideas we had are moving to the fall. There are 2.
Nothing.
There'll be 2, because placed on on the warrant by petition is the very last article.
Oh, yeah.
That's a zoning-related article. So that has to have a public hearing, and the planning board does have to get involved. That is the one that is concerning the potential rescindance of the OSRD bylaw. And then go ahead.
It says zoning proposals clarify multiple principal structures on a lot, also clarify non-conforming uses. So are there 2 or no?
I don't think she's going to do either one of those. So originally, I put clean energy and inclusionary zoning. She said, we're not ready for those, please do that in the fall.
Okay,
In place of that, she gave me the 2 things you just read, but now she's saying they might not even get to that.
okay, sorry.
So now,
Okay.
there's still going to be 2 things. One is the last article in the warrant, because that is a zoning article.
Yep,
And the other one is, she wants to rework the bylaw amendment that was passed that provided for alternates on the planning board, but it doesn't say the process behind how those alternates should be appointed.
okay,
She said, since she's doing a public hearing for the petitioned article, she's gonna do that one.
okay,
But the 4 things you see on the draft warrant, none of those are gonna happen.
okay.
and that appointment thing was very confusing to a lot of people. So it will be interesting. So what my question was going to be, last year we got the Excel file from her that said about all the different things that,
I'll see if I can get that again.
see if that's been updated, because that was very helpful for this person who likes Excel files.
So the 2 that we see here that weren't moved to fall, is she hoping to move them to fall? or
We'll probably see those in the fall too.
Yeah, she's not just a.
I think you're just gonna see this thing about the alternates and the one that they have to do, which is the one that was petitioned on.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I know you've got a lot of things kind of
No, that's fine.
out there. Thank you.
What else do you see on there that you have questions on, or is there anything else?
The match for the water main is gonna happen?
Yes,
Yeah.
they've committed to that.
Yeah, okay.
Can I ask a question about the bridges project? I know we keep talking about the 3,
Yes.
but I was driving through Ipswich yesterday and driving over lots.
That's not ours.
No, I know, but lots of those same sorts of structures like you've been describing at the Junction ice cream place.
Yep,
And it's not the Junction, downriver.
Rip-
downriver, yeah.
Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
thinking, what about isn't the causeway by Farnham's, isn't that a causeway bridge? And are we responsible?
State-owned.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
There are only 3 that are owned by the town.
Okay,
Anything on Route 133 that's not between Water Street and the Flying Dragon, since we own that stretch of road, is a state issue. Now, with respect to the one down by the downriver, as you know, they're gonna open up at Old Essex Road, they're gonna daylight
Yep,
the Castle Neck River. The one that goes under Route 133, we are currently expecting that the Office of Coastal Zone Management is gonna help us start studying that in connection with the DOT, who owns the bridge,
the
the
one by
crossing.
Farnham's.
And that's a.
No, the one by Downriver Ice Cream.
Oh, that was right,
It
yes.
goes on Old Essex and then.
Then it
cuts
goes, so the one by Farnham's, that's not being studied yet, but that's gonna be another one. We have the Causeway, we have the one down by the ice cream place, and we have Farnham's. And we're hoping that by learning a little bit about the one by the ice cream place, that's gonna help inform what to do about the other two.
Okay.
And we've got DOT working along with us, which is very important.
Okay, so that will inform decisions made on those other
Yes, because
kinds
it's,
of structures? 'Cause
yes.
they're all similar, right?
yes, and that's what we're telling them. Hey, you should start with this one because there's a lot of flood storage that we're missing because the water can't get in. The water can't drain out if there's a heavy rain.
Yep,
I don't know, that's actually a culvert under 133,
Right.
isn't it? It's not not a stone structure.
It
Yeah.
needs to be replaced with a box bridge.
Yeah, it needs something much
So
more
one bridge
substantial.
that's not
It's a
part of
round.
these three bridges that we've been talking about is the Essex Park Road, which is where the OSRD
Right.
building may be done. That's a stone bridge. And when you, I don't know who to ask, like, when you increase,
It's not considered a bridge, I guess.
it
I
looks
will-
like a bridge when the snow hits the rocks.
I will talk to Public Works about what they consider that.
Okay.
But they've never had that on the list.
So I did put it on my questions to the planning board to say, you know,
Yeah,
is it
right.
gonna be, I mean, when you go from having 3 cars that go back, we'll say 7 cars, because the
Right.
building is down there, to possibly, you know, 70
Whatever,
cars a
yeah.
day?
Yeah,
Oh, not only that, but even when they do construction,
yeah.
that's a lot of heavy equipment, so.
I'll get
thank
the
you.
answer as to why that has not been.
And
There
maybe
there is
that-
a reason for it.
That can be required potentially as part of the
Oh, yeah,
development,
yeah.
so.
it can?
Yeah,
You can make that?
I think so,
Yeah,
yeah.
because as part of adequate
Widen
access.
the road and,
And my question was, did they have anybody look at it? Was my question, to make sure that, all
I'll ask that, too.
Thank you.
right, I don't have any other
If not,
questions
they should.
regarding the warrant. And as Brendan said, Annie, this is your first time, these numbers, like, at 5 o'clock, we'll get a new sheet on the May 4th.
They're going to keep changing.
Okay.
Okay, so with no other questions or comments, I will finalize this warrant for the board's signature. What you might see is that one about the trash bags to drop.
okay.
Thank you. So at this point, I will entertain public comment.
Did you want to do the earmark or no?
Oh, sorry. This annual town meeting one is so big. So, do I entertain a motion to ratify this? Is this the one?
Yeah, so I just want to explain that, as you know, there's an earmark for almost $1.1 million that we do have, and that is going to do the DeSoto Road Water Loop. That was applied for last spring. Now the earmark applications are open again, because it's spring again, and we're looking to do another water project. The office that handles the earmarks for the House of Representatives in Washington had a deadline. They gave us 1 week, and it was in between your 2 meetings. We got a project in. It's to replace the entire main that comes from the water tank and goes down into the water system. It's made of that transite pipe that they were talking about when we had the meeting. And if that goes, you have a real problem, right? Because you have no pressurization of the system. And I asked them when I first went and looked at it, I'm like, how come there's not a pipe in and a pipe out? Because it's just storage. So if there's excess, so they know the level in that water tower at all times. They make water until that thing gets to a certain level. And so at some point, they overwhelm the need for water in the town, and that makes surplus water, and it ends
go
up
up
in the
there.
tank. At night, through the same pipe, it drains out and goes,
Really?
think of it as a bladder. That's how it works. It's not water comes in and then you let water out another pipe. So there is only one pipe. And so what I am asking is for ratification of the chairman's approval of me submitting the earmark request to the House of Representatives, and approval of me to submit, when it becomes available, the earmark request for the same project to the Senate.
And that will be similar to the one for the water mains, and it'll require a match and all that.
It'll require a 20% match, yes.
Okay.
I have just one question. Do we have a list of the water replacement priorities? Like, do we?
Yeah, so there is, it's on the website.
Okay,
Now, it's a report, the only report that, of priorities that we have is a report that the chairman doesn't have a lot of confidence in. He talked about the Wright-Pierce report
oh, that's it.
Yeah, the big.
on the website, and it goes on and on and on, and it talks about everything. His opinion is that it is not well done, but it was done by the Board of Public Works. They hired Wright-Pierce, and they did this report, so.
They should have a next step
That's what,
after
that's
the-
on my comments.
Yeah, after the
What
water.
is, what's it look
tower.
like for the next 3 years? What's it look like, if
They're
we're
gonna
gonna
need-
apply for this every
Yeah.
year?
Plan.
If we get 1 week to put in for next year, you're gonna wanna know what it is, so they.
As is, I had to go back to our consulting engineer and the chief operator. They had to brainstorm and come up with what they think the next best thing will
Yeah,
be.
So they should do that now.
That fits within $1 million project, too.
Right,
They
right.
could pick one that's $10 million, and that's not gonna help us, because these earmarks don't go over like 1.1 million.
And it may be that they can't do that, because it may be that they may put A, but C comes up and,
But I can ask them to prioritize and
Correct.
have something
even if
more
it's
ready,
just,
you know?
here's some ones, here's some twos, here's some threes, to give you an idea of what may be on that. Because then it's easier to say, what of these is the ones you're moving up?
Okay, so does
So
the board
moved,
want to
so
vote on
moved.
that? Yep,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye?
Thank you.
thank you.
You can't take any time off because you're going to miss grant applications.
I got it all figured in, Annie.
Bring them with them.
Yeah.
Oh, sometimes that has happened.
Okay, so I'll start with public comment. Is there anybody in the room that would like to make a public comment on what we have on our agenda? No? Anybody online? I see Jody, I see Ruth, I see Michelle. And not hearing anybody or seeing anybody raise their hands, I'm going to move on to other business. I'm going to entertain a motion to approve the weekly warrant in the amount of $4,422.43.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor? Aye. Approve the minutes for the Selectmen's February 24th, open meeting held at 5 PM, and the joint meeting with the Selectmen, Finance Committee, and Board of Public Works, 7 PM on the 24th.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
The next item is the discussion of a final makeup for the Senior Citizens Tax Relief Working Group and development of its charge. So I still have a few comments.
Is this a
One-
vote?
Well, no, this is to determine whether you you think you have the full complement, and then you have to work on the charge, and, that doesn't have to be tonight, it can be whenever.
So I still feel like, what does it look like, what is success going to look like? This PowerPoint, Annie, that you had put together, who's the audience? Is it for the charter, the group that's getting together?
It could be. I mean, this was for you guys, but, yeah, I mean, they can look at this as just the beginning of the work, but it's not, it doesn't give the charge. It just gives you some background.
Information, yeah.
Yeah. It's only, I would not say that this is.
Okay.
This is something that they can.
So the
From-
group would
Build
start
on
with
it,
building
yeah.
the charge? And
Oh,
what-
yeah.
okay.
Well, I think there is a charge. I mean, I unfortunately am suffering from OLD as well.
Right, you have a copy of the charge that Annie suggested.
Again, she's saying it's not, this is more of an informational thing for us to understand.
The PowerPoint is, but
No, you should have this in your package.
So the charge here is work with the assessor and senior center to build awareness of tax deferral exempt programs already in place that would support senior financial security goals. So there's already some stuff in there, so they
Yeah.
can they somehow work on that? And then review and assess the viability of any additional programs, conduct public outreach, do a comprehensive review of all possible programs, explore and document guidelines and financial implications of any additional tax relief programs, and develop a process phased or in one town meeting for bringing forward a holistic approach program to suggested senior tax relief program.
Well, and I guess the only other thing that I would say is truly defining the means, like how do you determine the means? And one of the examples I have is me owning a two-family and now being old enough to look at some of these. If I have children in the system, does it count? Do we give a discount to somebody who may be a senior who owns the house but has children in the district, whether it's a two-family or whether it's family living with them?
So the means things are usually adopted from
State law.
state law. If you look at any of those programs, they're
That's
not.
where my concern comes in, because I'm looking at Danvers, and they don't talk about if they have kids in the school system. They don't talk about, and that kind of concerns me.
So what do you mean, a senior who has children in the school district?
Not their children, they have their grandchildren.
Oh,
So again, my situation, I have a two-family. At this current state, I have people living up there who have children.
yeah.
I wouldn't go after a discount because that doesn't seem fair to me I can increase my rent to make up the difference versus,
But isn't this just like the starter charge, and this group will
We'd have to
delve
study
into
all
some-
that,
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll delve into some of these issues.
I just
And-
think having
But then we've got to get into all the issues that they're going to have to get into. So let them get into the issues and then decide what it needs to be.
The means testing is part of that, because you have to study the implications of that, right? If you wanted to do anything different
Well, you
than
say
what-
explore and document guidelines.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think you need to put some calculations in there so that as time goes on, if you ever wanted to revisit something, you'd have to, but those change I'm thinking every year. They do change every year, don't they?
Well, what they do is they reference some kind of an index.
Yeah,
So, 80% of the median household income, blah, blah, blah. That changes probably quarterly.
yeah. And then I know that Bruce Tarr had put out some information about the circuit breaker. He's really kind of pushing that right now. I think that would be a good idea. Do we have anything on,
So if you go on the DOR website, there's, this week, nope, what week, what are we in? Last week, there was actually informational sessions Bruce's group put together.
Yeah.
I went to it. I was actually surprised that most of the people sitting in there were much older than me. I was expecting to see some, people who were just at that age.
Yeah.
What I heard was, first of all, most of your accountants who do people's taxes are well aware of this circuit breaker. They know the formula, they know all of that. The biggest concern again for me is the two-family, because it's 10%, if your taxes that you owe in the town is 10% of your income, then you can get a discount. Well, if you have a two-family, it's half of that. It's not.
oh,
Right.
And so luckily, I do have an accountant who can help me work through this. But what I understand from listening to the people at that session was, some of them think something changed. Maybe something ran out, they're no longer getting funds from an IRA, or, you could tell, or they've moved in a situation they were in before, they're now in a different situation. So when I talked to our Council on Aging, what they said is they've tried doing these before, and it's either the same people who show up who don't qualify,
yeah,
and that's, part of your, this group is to help, how do you get them to show up?
Yeah.
And how do you get the information, for me, I think, how do you get that information to those people in their late 50s who,
Are
in a
coming
few
into
years,
it.
are coming up to that?
yeah.
But,
I'm just wondering, I don't want to ask you to do anything until you have some help, but anything we could do to kind of highlight the circuit breaker on the town page, the town webpage.
Oh, yeah.
so I don't know if you've been to the assessors page, but it is, Patty had put a new page, which I really thought was very helpful, but again, how do you promote that to get people to look at it?
Right.
Yeah, and
that's the problem.
honestly, clicking,
Well, I can put it on the homepage under
Yeah, if
town
you do it on the
news.
homepage, just because people don't like to click.
I will say that there's also a large portion of town, which still surprises me, that don't have internet at all. And, I mean, I'm like, so you went to that page and you clicked the button. I'll let you know I don't have internet.
Huh, okay.
Right, so you have a draft charge and you have a list of names here. I did look again at trying to find somebody from the disabled community and was not able to. So, where do you stand on the list of potential members?
Do we have to do anything regarding, so when I read the, I don't know if it was the Danvers or if it was the DOR, about the Board of Selectmen, it says the chair of the Board of Selectmen. So do we have to do anything to say we're doing somebody else other than?
Okay, that's different.
sure.
Okay, that's if you're gonna go with the state law that allows you to take donations and have a committee that,
So that's the trust.
right.
Yeah.
That's not what this is.
Okay,
You're
that's
talking
a-
about an ad hoc committee that you can decide who's on it.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
So I proposed a name to you. I haven't spoken to that person for the
Okay.
disabled spot, but I
Yep.
think I would advance this list forward, and then if we find that
Yeah,
that person
keep
is
it-
interested,
Keep it open, yeah.
that would be great.
Okay, so how do you want to pull this together from here?
These folks are all aware, correct?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
So I could say, you know,
I think a date would have to be set now to have an introductory type of thing. Do you want to wait for that after the town meeting, or do you?
I think because you are the administrator on this, I think we should kind of ask you when is a good time for you to do the initial meeting. Do you want to wait until after town meeting?
want to wait until at least after we get the
Budget
town meeting booklet to print, which is going to be on March 30th. Then I'm away for a little while. So I would say anytime mid to late April, but that's just a little window.
And then-
Going to after town meeting is fine with me.
I'm happy with that.
Okay. I'll bring it up then, and I'll
Thank you.
talk to the people more.
Yeah, I didn't know if you wanted to do an introductory email out to the group so that everybody knows who else is on this committee with them.
Well, I'm going to communicate with
Okay.
them, yeah. Yep.
Okay, anything else on that subject?
Thanks, Brendan.
Yep, no
Thank you,
problem.
yeah, a lot of work. So next item is to discuss whether the current system quarterly department head meetings are meetings that should be modified in some way.
I wonder if it might be good just to get quarterly report. That's kind of a pain for them. you know.
If we don't have a quarterly meeting, I want a monthly report.
Monthly?
And then that way we can decide whether or not we need to put a meeting together with a department or a committee.
Well, maybe have an annual meeting, but just have a quarterly update of just, you know, things that have changed since the last update.
What is the purpose of the meeting? Like, let's talk about what is the purpose of the meeting? What do you need to get from that meeting? And what's the best way to get it?
Well, the
I
meeting
guess?
that we currently have was put together many years ago now.
Yep.
And it was just the idea of having the department heads in the same place with the selectmen and hearing the new things that are going on. But it doesn't seem that, you know, today, people are looking at that as being as valuable as it was perhaps in the minds of the people that originally put it together.
Yeah.
And what was the thought process of putting it together? Because back when I was on the school committee, I hated it because I didn't know what we were supposed to show up with.
Yeah.
Well, now
And-
you do.
But we've defined that.
But now, as a select person, I truly believe it's good to have Alva saying, I need X, Y, Z for blah, 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 and Annie in another department saying, and this is why I need this. Because right now, everybody has their hand up that they want more, whether it's more people or more money or more something. And we don't know that.
So there's got to be some sort of, I mean, I thought that my understanding of the meeting was that you're coming and you're telling me, I need this, and you're telling me this, I need this. I thought it was more of a, here are the town's goals, and here's where my department is kind of working towards that goal. And that we want to make sure that Peter's department is not conflicting with Alva's department, like,
And that was really, when it was first put together, kind of loosely the way it was,
Yeah.
the reason behind it. But then, as you know, it kind of strayed into, we weren't really getting
Yeah.
clarity. And so the board actually had me define
Right.
what they should come with.
Yeah.
And even then, it's hard because it's not written down.
Well, so
You know,
this
when
is
you
the
look
thing,
at- If they write down just the substantive stuff,
right,
then.
then we can share it.
Yeah, then we can compare.
And that's why I think if we're asking the DPW, wouldn't it be nice if you did a monthly report, just like Brendan does every 2 weeks? If we ask that of everybody, it doesn't have to be big, it doesn't
No,
have to be
simple.
detailed, it doesn't have to go into the weeds, it just has to say, you know, we did 7
Anything
programs,
urgent or important.
27 attended, blah, blah, blah.
I have heard from some folks who feel like it's coming to the parents and being, having to report like a report card, and they resent it. So,
And we've worked in
Yeah.
businesses, does the CEOs not say, hey, delivery department, where are we?
yeah, but then it goes to the structure of the town. I mean, does everybody report to the Board of Selectmen? Do you see what they're saying? You're saying, come here and report to the Board of Selectmen, when it's not like the Board of Selectmen is the king of all of the committee. They are another committee, and what you're trying to do is kind of organize all of this information in a way that is, that you have a wider view of what's happening, but it's not supposed to be sort of a,
So do you think it shouldn't happen at all?
no, I don't think that we shouldn't happen. I think we should,
And I don't think having it once a year with all of a sudden at
Oh,
the
yeah.
end, everything's a big
Yeah,
scary
no,
No, but
mess.
if you have reports,
That's what
quarterly.
I know, but monthly, I think is
not
onerous.
monthly.
I think the
No, that's-
quarterly,
that's
if
too
you,
much
I loved
Can I just say
Carla's
that
thing.
the library, the
Right,
Council on
right.
Aging, they already have to do these reports
Yeah, half
for-
page.
in order to be part of their library boards, not the board themselves. I'm talking higher. They get computer systems now that can do that. That's,
Yeah. I mean, and if we can be privy to those things, I think that's valuable for us. You know, the minutes are also an informative, but it's challenging for people who don't have an administrator to get the minutes done. That is clear. And I don't think we need to answer this all tonight. I just think that, is there a way of asking those folks, what's the value to you? What do you think is valuable to communicate with other boards? Because the value of having everybody come and report is that I can look at you and say, oh, I didn't know you were working on that. Can we work together? Or,
Right.
oh, I'm concerned that you're kind of working against something that I'm kind of
Working in a
towards,
different
yeah.
direction,
So,
So the next time you have one of these scheduled will be your second meeting in April. You could have everyone come in and let them know that the session will be about reconstituting how this is done.
can I
could
tell you
do that.
something else that was really, I mean, I really
ask
liked,
them how they would like to see that.
but also put it around, I thought that there's a democratization of a round table, right? Of people sitting in, not necessarily up there reporting to us, but sitting at the table with us, problem solving. And I think that that's a
The hard part
nice,
is the camera. It's easier.
I don't care about I mean, I care about you. I
You don't care
about the
because
camera.
you are here and you can watch it later.
Yeah.
But there is people who do watch it. I've
Yep.
run into people who I was totally
You
shocked.
could sit at the table.
Well, we have a portable mic. Now, you might be seeing the back of some people's heads, but the sound will work because you could pass the mic
Yeah.
around the table.
I think that would be a good idea, Brennan.
I would like to ask them before that meeting, how would you like to see it?
Well, that's maybe at the meeting.
Aren't they going to come to the meeting
No,
and
but
tell you
I'm
that?
ahead of time so that they know what they're coming to the meeting for.
Prepare them, give them.
Yeah.
Right, to prepare them to be able.
You
to
may or
think
may
about it.
not get them to tell you in advance
We
what
may
they're
or may
going to
not
talk
get them
about.
to give us a report. I mean, how
Right.
many times is
So-
half the board's not here?
Suffice it to say, at the next meeting, which is going to be whatever that second meeting is in April, I will let everyone know, because soon it's going to be going out, the notice of it,
Yeah.
that they should come with their ideas on what would be
A
most
better way,
productive.
yeah.
For the town, not necessarily for us to hear, but what does the town need to know about what's happening with your department and the work that you're doing?
Great.
And so that's a hard one, because what, the town has multiple demographics. And what's important to the high school student may not be important to the senior, may not be important to the person who's only here part-time of the year.
Yeah.
All right, next, consider authorizing the chairman to sign a contract amendment for the Weston and Sampson for the firm to provide continuing peer review service for the planning board concerning the Essex Preserve, no, the Preserve at Essex OSRD application.
All costs to be borne by the applicant. So the planning board has already used an engineering firm during the preliminary subdivision phase. There's already a contract with them.
Is it
All-
Weston and Sampson?
Yes.
It is, yeah.
And all costs were defrayed by the applicant. Now that they're moving into reviewing the definitive subdivision, we need to be able to authorize, since it's a contract, the planning board can't do it on their own. We just need the board to say that you're in favor of a contract amendment that will allow the planning board to get these technical review services for the next phase. And again, so long as all costs are borne by the applicant.
Yeah.
So is this an authorization, just like we do a motion?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I'm going to request, entertain a motion for authorizing the chairman to sign the contract amendment with Weston and Sampson.
So moved.
Second, can I ask a question? Does the planning board define kind of the scope of work of what they're specifically looking at?
Yes,
And I know that you had made the note about the bridge at that street.
yes,
Can you
and I'm going to make sure that gets
Thank
in
you.
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next is, do you want to review this, or do you want me to just entertain a motion for the fire?
Well, this, I want to talk about it. So the fire department is getting ready to take possession of the new fire tanker that was approved by town meeting.
And Annie, were you part of the tanker conversation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, they don't need the old fire tanker when the new one arrives. You could just trade it in, but you're going to get short money. They have done some research, and they feel that there might be people out there that are willing to pay upwards of $50,000 for the thing.
And restore it?
Yeah, whatever I mean, it's very functional of the way it is.
Yeah.
Our fire department's concern is what's going to happen next, and it's going to happen at an inopportune time.
Right.
So, to me, it sounds like we need you to authorize the disposal of this vehicle, because we believe it's going to be over $10,000. And I will have to follow a procedure in Chapter 30B, the state's procurement law, and I believe it's probably going to end up at an auction, okay?
Do we have to get rid of it? I mean,
No,
is that what they want? Because I just am thinking about that, the conversations we had when Seth Moulton was here, and they were talking about how there's so much concern about the woodlands or whatever, and fires and
Yeah, wildfire stuff.
and that
That's
we
who
have
would
the
buy
only.
it.
Pardon?
That's who would buy it, somebody that had a lot of woods, or maybe even a state facility or.
I know, but I'm just wondering, why would we, or we have the only tanker in this area, right? And now we're getting, we could have two functioning, I mean, I don't know what the hell I'm talking
I
about.
think it's the maintenance cost. For me, I would think
It needs to
that,
be repaired,
because they've been
yeah.
Band-Aiding it, I
Yeah,
don't want to say
yeah.
that, but,
And if you don't use it that much, you're just using it for woodland fires, then you're
I
not
mean-
gonna do any maintenance.
and
then
also,
nobody
is there any
ever
place to
work.
store it?
I think there is one spot right now that's not taken. But if you want the fire chief to report on that option, we can do that.
Just, you could just send him an email and send.
Okay.
I'm happy to,
Because we do
Go
have a
with
lot
this.
of woods.
yeah, I mean, I thought there was an instance where there was more than one fire in the woods, but I'm not sure of it.
Yeah, but it goes
Oh,
to
yeah,
other,
there were
it goes to
several,
other
yeah.
towns, and maybe another town would wanna take it on as a sort of shared resource when, our main one isn't available or something, I don't know.
So did you read the motion? Oh, yes, you did. I'm sorry.
No, there
He
was
read
no
the
motion.
motion, so I'm going to, when one of you,
So moved.
second, all
All those in favor?
all those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
And then, let's see, any items
Special election?
for the special election? So we have to sign the, I already signed it, correct? I did.
I
have
think
to
it's
bring-
for everyone to sign, so you've seen it, okay.
Yeah.
So you just do the motion on it now.
And entertain a motion to sign the special election, special state election for March 31st, 2026, from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the safety building, Essex Safety
So
Building.
moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Did anybody see how many votes there were?
211. I lost.
Both sides, or all three sides?
Grand total of 211 people came in to vote.
It was during that
I didn't, I
storm.
mean, that's just Essex.
Yeah, just Essex.
I don't remember the storm. Maybe that night?
We're on to licenses, and I just want to know, are you here just for the entertainment license, or are you here just to watch the meeting? Okay, great. So moving on to the licenses, I entertain a motion to do a consent agenda for the shellfish permits for 2026
Do anything
as
with this? We already did, right?
listed below.
It's on the warrant, just wanted to show it to you.
And so we have commercial shellfish, student shellfish, senior shellfish, and annual non-resident permit.
So moved.
Second?
All those, I did want to discuss something. I'm still confused about why an annual non-resident shellfish pays less than a student commercial. I get the, like,
Because the annual non-resident is only allowed to dig a limited amount of clams in a day,
okay,
whereas a student can dig 250 pounds per tide.
okay,
It's commercial, and then they can sell them.
okay.
An annual non-resident cannot sell them.
And then
It's for
it says
family
that on their
use.
license, because is that
It's for
correct?
family use. yeah.
Okay, not sell. That helps me feel better. Okay, all those in favor?
Eh,
All right.
Aye.
What I'm supposed to say?
Okay, and then, so now we're moving on down to the entertain a motion for consent agenda for the annual weekday and Sunday outdoor entertainment as listed on the agenda. These are contingent on all forms and fees being completed.
So
What-
moved.
And I'll-
This is-
Second.
What are we
We're
doing?
taking
The
them all in
annual
one-
outdoor? the
Yeah, so let me
annual out-
explain. So
Okay.
you might remember last year, two establishments, the Rivers Bend and Woodman's, wanted to have, not so they had to come in for an entertainment license for every single event.
Right.
You obliged them with that, with very specific language and very specific conditions. This is only renewing that for this year under the exact terms and conditions that were laid out when you first allowed it. Woodman's actually has two places, the lawn in front of the Essex room and the tent, whereas the Rivers Bend has only one location out in their yard. And each one of those can have a weekday and a Sunday. That's why there's so many permutations written up. But nothing you're being asked to do is any different than what you've already done.
Okay.
And so, and I'm going to do a separate motion for Rivers Bend, which is an indoor. So let's just,
Do we need to vote on the annual outdoor weekday for
It's-
Woodman's?
just one, yeah, one consent.
And Rivers Bend, right? Or is it just?
Yep, so the outdoor ones are both Rivers Bend and Woodman's, two properties, and
So moved?
all those in favor?
Aye.
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 So.
Then
oh, yeah.
moving into the entertaining a motion for, well, I don't have to say consent anymore, for the annual indoor Sunday entertainment as listed on this agenda. And again, still contingent on forms being completed and fees paid. The
Doing
weekday,
the indoor weekday and the indoor
Where you're
Sunday.
not, because the indoor weekday, she skipped over it because
Skipping that one, okay.
the applicant said, I wasn't sure whether I actually had this renewed or not. I put it on the agenda so we could study it. It turns out it was issued already, so that
Okay.
can be tabled.
Okay.
So moved?
all those
Aye.
in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. One last consent is the Cape Ann Chamber Clam Fest, one-day entertainment and one-day alcohol at Memorial Park on the 24th of October.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
You don't need me to do anything else with that, right?
Nope, thank you.
Personnel Board, so this is to consider amending the board's vote on February 24th, 2026, recommending the addition of a deputy fire chief to the fiscal year 2027 wage and salary scale by changing the job title to the fire captain/fire prevention officer, all at the recommendation of the Board of Fire Engineers. And also consider whether to agree to salary range should it be reduced.
So how did that affect everything that we discussed?
So after the board said, okay, let's look at a deputy chief, we reported that to the fire department, and they said they don't like the way that works within their ranking structure. They said a captain would be more appropriate, and they asked if I could come back to you and go with captain/fire prevention officer. Now, the reason it says should the salary range be reduced is that if you're hiring a deputy chief, that's necessarily going to have a higher salary range than is a captain. We're not changing the fact that it's a management employee, and we're not changing the fact that it is a salaried employee with, not subject to overtime.
Okay.
Yeah, and I guess, so, and the range that we had was like 100.
105 to 120.
So I don't mind lowering the minimum a little bit, maybe 90, based on what I saw on, looking at different fire departments. But if somebody's a captain and has all of the required
Yeah, for
for
fire prevention.
fire prevention,
Which is an
we still
extensive
may,
list.
we still may go up to 120, is that correct?
I think you might have to.
Okay.
Right.
So that's why I would just say, if anything, lower the lower range, lower scale, so it's, I don't know, do you recommend 90 to, what do you recommend?
I think 90 would be a fine starting point.
90 to 120?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know that you guys had met, you, Brendan, Alva, and Jody, about this. Is that still, your group still recommends this?
Yeah, this is basically coming down to what they want to call it. Because at that meeting that we were at, the chief was fine with the term deputy chief.
Yeah.
But when he met with the other two engineers, they said, we're not fine with that. It has to be called something else. And that's the only reason we're bringing it back to you.
Okay, and then this salary range also comes with we're saying 30K for loaded?
Yeah, it's around 35% of whatever the salary ends up being.
Yep, and this still has an impact on the town budget and might have put us in an override position.
Yes, it will certainly be contributing in a large way to the override that is likely.
Okay, and I guess my only question about this is, how is there anything that's different about this position versus the deputy fire chief? Like, what is the nuance there? And I don't need it tonight, but I would love to.
I can get more information on
Yeah,
that.
why did they not like that deputy chief?
They feel that it is something that would go just under the chief. And they have an internal way that they rank things, but then the law that governs our structure for the fire department has a board of fire engineers. So I was saying originally, you could easily have a chief engineer, a second engineer, a third engineer, and then a deputy chief.
Yeah.
The way they rank things, because they have, it's allowed by the law, they have an internal ranking system of all the other, lieutenant and all those things. And they're saying, no, we don't, within our internal system, we would never do it that way. So we want you to call it a captain.
And one of the things that Christian had brought up was the fact that, like, in his vision of 5 years from now, maybe, that this person would move into the chief role. But again, it came back, we all got the email, I believe we all got the email, right, from Christian?
Yeah.
Their thought process around it. So I am fine with this, and this helps the finance people to figure out where's that override fall?
Yeah, and I guess just the only thing, when we're doing something like this, it's good to have kind of like, what is the justification? Why are we asking for this? Why is it important to the town? And
And I
kind of
have
to-
asked that, I think we do have that somewhere, because it's one of the things that they feel that the inspections they're supposed to be doing, some of them may slide, those types of things.
Yeah, and you got the OSRD coming online this year,
Correct.
and then you've got the school building.
Then you get the school, so those are
There's a
the,
lot going on.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
but I do think a structure needs to be put in place also, so that you understand that, yes, this position is paying for themselves, even if it's not money for money, but we need these things, and they're doing their job.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do we need to vote on that? Is that,
You do, because it will be your revised recommendation.
so I'm making a motion to amend the board's prior vote to change the title to fire captain and fire prevention officer, and to change the range from 190 to 120.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thanks for the work on that.
I'm going to go into reminders. Is there anything else that no?
I have nothing.
Okay. So we have the planning board to hold another public hearing for the preserves at Essex Open Space Residential Development, proposed for March 18th from 7 p.m. at the Town Hall.
And you'll be posted?
The Greater Cape Ann Chamber of Commerce will hold a caucus on March 20th from 12:30 to 2 at the Applied Materials. I signed up for it. Annie, did you sign up for it?
I didn't know I was supposed to.
You're all welcome to go to that, because
I
it's
think I
a
signed
general
up for it.
Did you?
conference.
Okay.
Is it an email from Colleen?
I'm
Colleen.
Colleen.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. if I
Did we
did.
have to sign up? Was there a reservation?
They like to get an RSVP.
Yeah, I think I did.
Make sure you get us ginger ale. Next regular Board of Selectmen meeting is Monday, March 23rd at 6 p.m. Oh, there was something I wanted to ask you about that. And then on Greater Cape Ann Chamber of Commerce will hold a community visioning session on the 24th of March, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. in the auditorium. So
In the auditorium? Or up here?
Town Hall.
Here,
Auditorium.
the auditorium. yeah.
Okay, so I do have, so we already discussed this a little bit, which is having something written up to understand what this is about beforehand, so that,
Right, and I reached out to Colleen on that, and she was working on it, but I don't have anything for
so,
you.
and then I also have talked to a couple of people, because I know Colleen's thing says businesses and residents, but I really want to make sure how are we going to reach out to residents? I've asked a couple of people, and so I need to know what, and I can reach out to Colleen to ask her what she needs.
You mean, you want like an elevator pitch? Like what's the,
Yeah, I want to get people here, because I don't believe that our town should be based on a vision of businesses versus based on mixed, everybody. So,
yeah, and I also had wondered about, have they met, has Val met with them about a structure, again?
I don't think they've met. They've only confirmed that she will moderate.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea to kind of,
Yep,
what day is today, the 9th?
yep.
Yeah, that's coming up fast.
Mhm.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks for all the work you're doing. I know you're really busy.
Yep,
Thank
it's
you.
okay.
Appreciate it.
It's his job.
That's right. Every Thursday, you pay me. That's why I'm here.
Oh, it does say to RSVP, I will.
Can I entertain a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Yay.
Aye.
Aye.
All those in favor? Aye.
Thank you.